Very good afternoon to everyone, and I thank Dr. Ravi Chandran sir and for the opportunity to share my views in this nice audience here. So I'm not going to have too many slides as my previous speakers had a lot of setting the floor, slides. So I'm going to talk about with only a map of the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. So most of the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve protected areas are, covered in this 3D map. So this is a network of protected areas like Nagarhole, Bandipur, Mudumalai, Wayanad, and Sathyamangalam, BRT, Coimbatore, Mukurthi. So it's a very beautiful area, and this is one of the best habitats for the Asian elephants. One of the single largest Asian elephant population is found in this region. So if we see this map, there is a Moyar Gorge along the Nilgiri mountains, along the foothills and plains of Nilgiri western and eastern slopes. The elephant movement between Mudumalai, Bandipur, and to Sathyamangalam, Erode, BRT, so which is the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. So Sathyamangalam is being a bridge between these two large geography. So if you see the arrow mark here, along this Moyar Gorge, elephants show movement across the monsoon seasons. During the southwest monsoons, most of the elephant population density wise very high in Mudumalai side. During the northeast monsoon, you can find a lot of elephant movement in this Moyar Valley, and they will be moving towards Metupalayam and further south into Coimbatore, and the elephants going into the Talamalai Plateau and into Sathyamangalam, Erode. And so there are a lot of, elephant movement and congregations along the Bhavani Sagar, backwater area. So if you see so this is what is the distribution of elephants in the upper plateau of Nilgiris. There are some truck paths, like from, from Kallar, elephants, they move along the, Barliar Valley and they go up to Kunnur. And the elephants from the, Naduvattam and, from the Mudumalai, they go up in the Mukurthi during the season. They'll be going along this Wa Valley and they go up into the, similarly, the elephants from the Siramogai, they'll be going up to the Kunjapanai area. So during the jackfruit season, otherwise, mostly this, the upper plateau of Nilgiris is not a, good elephant habitat, but they're all, using the plains along this, the plains of the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. So mostly these areas are deciduous forests and, dry thorn forest areas. So if we come to over the last 25 years, if in my own observations in this landscape, so what things have, changed over the years, like the crops and the crop gardening systems largely, changed. Like in olden days, so there were ragi, maize, and crops like seasonal crops, paddy, all that crops cultivated along these fringe forest areas, now being irrigated crops and fully, throughout the year you see banana and coconut, arecanut. So all these cultivations over these areas is changed now. And then the land use. If you go to, along the, Metupalayam and Coimbatore areas, it's mostly this urbanization is happening till the foothills of the, habitats. And then if you look at the habitat quality, as Tash mentioned, more than 40% of these habitats, prime habitats, are covered by Senna and Lantana. So completely this habitat quality is also changed. And then the elephant, the driving mechanism. So the olden days, they used to have the treetop platforms and all, people got their fields. But now all these, elephants were driven by firecrackers and, some sort of sound systems, all siren and going with the JCP tractors, all sort of things. Elephants are being driven out and they are, they are also getting into stress and, their behaviors also getting changing. And then and then a lot of the migrant laborers into these habitats close to, elephant habitats near Thadagam Valley and Bolambati, wherever these brick kilns areas or the tea estates, you can see a lot of, migrant laborers, and they are not very well versed with these behaviors of elephants in this landscape. Then we can see a lot of, any temples, any the hills along the foothills in this area, in the Moyar Valley, there are so many temples, and along this, the eastern slopes of Nilgiris, there are so many temples. If you take from Ayasami Malai to Velengiri Hills and then Melmudi and so many other temples, Masi Kovil and Karuvanarayan Kovil, so many temples are there. So these temples were once used by the local communities, and there will be a annual festival and very, very nicely with the cultural, programs and all that. The festival used to happen, but now it becomes adventurous. People just go out from everywhere. You can see people 3-4 months completely. This temple tourism is going on all these areas. Then the traffic intensity, like the urbanization and that tourism development is happening. So we have been monitoring this National Highway 181, which is a very crucial area of Kallar corridor. So Sigur, so the morning, we had a lot of discussion about the Sigur corridor. But this Kallar corridor, again, which is very important corridor at the Metupalayam area, connecting two large population of elephants between the Sathyamangalam and the southern part of Coimbatore, is in 2007, we counted around 4,500 vehicles per day. But today, there were more than 12,500 vehicles. So the number of vehicles using these roads triple. So this become a barrier for elephants to cross one place to the another place. And then this impact of urbanization and the solid waste management system is also very, very, very poor in a day. In these days, you can see the elephant which Tar showed. It was coming, and he said Alibaba breaking the fence. So it is to come into a solid waste area, solid waste dump yard. A similar case in the foothills of Mudumalai in Coimbatore. Very recently, elephant with fetus died, and then once this elephant died, then the department and the district administration removed that to the different areas. So overall, for all these things, if you look at this area, the habitats are also very unique. If you go to Gudalur area, the reserve forest, as the DFOs are mentioned, the reserve forests are very, very patchy. They are spread everywhere, like at 150, 200 patches are there. And the animals have to move through, coffee and tea plantations through this, reserve forest. These are only a hideout area for elephant. They will not hold the elephant for a longer period. So they have to keep moving between these tea plantations. So the situation is like that there. And if we come to Coimbatore, it's like you can see the convoluted boundary. Completely during the British period, when they are setting this forest area, reserve forest area, they just followed the contour line. So there is probably those days they have not considered these elephants, and the elephant population also in Coimbatore probably not in a way that we have now, and very few elephants in the working plan also in the Bodambatti Valley and few valleys that they have mentioned. So animals have to move through these areas along the foothills, and right at the foothills, the developments are there. So what is happening now? The fringe areas, when they are bearing so much of conflict, they are just leaving fallow. So they cannot grow any crops over there, and they cannot get the returns from these crops. So they are just leaving fallow. So what happens when the boundary fringe forest areas get left fallow? They are going to the next layer, like that. They are keep on moving deeper into the human use areas. So that's one of the issues why the animals are keep moving. For example, in Kodagu, in the coffee plantations, so one of the attractant for animals are jackfruits. So once they have just removed all the unripened fruits, so that they assume that the animals will not come to coffee plantations, we will not have a problem. But that particular year, the animals have moved deeper into the area where they were not going earlier, because they are keep on going further into the coffee estate to find such resources. Then the another thing, very important thing that we need to see, that the crop guarding measures, so increase the use of electric fences, now shifting the animals, and animals are coming deeper into the villages area, because right at the foothills in the Coimbatore, where the animals have to use the revenue areas to move from one place to another place, but they're all getting prevented, the barrier circumventing the animal going into the deeper into the villages, and they are going into the other area, which creates a lot of encounters with the people. So for all this, so the current mitigation measures that we see, elephant proof trench, electric fence, and railway fencing, and then we have steel rope wire fencing at different cost. So we have something around 400 kilometers of barriers for rail fencing in Karnataka, and so many kilometers of 40-50 kilometers of steel rope wire fence in Hosur. And within this landscape, we have so much of hanging fence and different designs, and you can see so many different electric fencing companies. But somewhere around 2000 only this electric fencing concept came into this landscape. To my knowledge, some people came and put fence in the Nilgiris area. Yeah, so that's the problem. One of the important thing that we need to, for everything. So this fencing, trenching, and electric fence is not going to solve the problem. So we have to do a driver analysis and hotspot mapping and driver analysis to understand how we can implement this system and reduce the conflict, human and elephant. So in the human and elephant conflict, crop raiding somehow we can compensate, but the human casualty is the highest priority in the to address in the human elephant conflict. So if we see that, so we have done a hotspot mapping in Tamil Nadu, and we found this 3-4 divisions for Hosur, Sathyamangalam, and Gudalur and Coimbatore. These 4 areas are very high conflict in nature. So then we have done the data analysis of the 10-15 years of data we have used to map these hotspots. So if you look at the Gudalur area, so Moyar Valley and the Cherambadi area is although there are overall area there are conflict. These 2 areas are very high conflict, and similarly this Sathyamangalam also we have done, and Coimbatore also. There are 3 areas where high conflict in the Tamil Nadu side. So when we look at this human deaths in one hotspot, we have taken Bolombatti hotspot. Although there are human casualties everywhere, we can see different issues are there. Some cases in this in the oh sorry. So here some of these deaths related to issues like late night going in the dark area, and simply we have to put some lights there. And in some areas, people have to be given with some sanitary facilities for them to use. Toilet facilities should be created. And in some of the areas, 1 or 2 vehicles should be sent to that village for for their latecomers. And these are things to be done. But for all the things, we cannot just use barriers, and we cannot. Of course, barriers can be used if we are using very strategically. But barriers alone cannot be, successful in controlling conflict, and we have to do small things. So we have to. So the long-term things. What I'm saying, the regional planning or urban planning should be, it should be built in a way that keeping the elephant in the lens, and also we should be having that. We should be having the line departments role into that. So in the National Action Plan of Human and Elephant Conflict, so under the district collector, all the line departments' role will be clearly, specified. If that is there for Nilgiris, it's best. Otherwise, it should be done. So generally, all the departments will have a role in this. It is not just the forest department who have to make all the conflict mitigation. So that's one of the important things that for the long term that I'm talking about. So the elephant behaviors point of view, some of the cases, these elephants are now getting into breaking houses. So earlier they used to raid crops, and now they are breaking ration shops and houses. And we just tested from our understanding, yeah, yeah, container-based ration shop, which is actually working. So then one of the final note I wanted to say, so the problem, elephants are being relocated to different areas, and which is one of the measures that we are talking, that when we see acute elephant problem. But thing is that this is not working in Nilgiris. So our own understanding, this Pandalur Makana was relocated here from Gudalur to Mudumalai, which went to Sultan Bateri town, and it was captured. The Rivaldo elephant was translocated from Kor to Buffer to Kor Mudumalai. Within a day, it came back. So similarly, there are other elephants also. So the translocation is not going to work. This is where the current concept of keeping that, the soft release program is also in under discussion under the chairmanship of Dr. Sukumar sir. So that with that note, within the limited time, I just conveyed these things without taking much more time. Thank you so much.